Welcome, everyone, to Truth and Freedom Podcast, where awakening begins with asking the question most people are afraid to ask. I'm your host, Dr. Dan Amzallag, and this is not just another podcast. This is a journey into awareness, courage, and truth. Now, in this episode, I wanted to talk about one of the hardest things for many of us to practice: truth in our relationships. Not just romantic ones, but friendship, family ties, and professional connections. Now, because truth isn't just about honesty, it's about alignment. It's about living and relating in a way that reflects who you really are, not who others expect you to be. Now, here's the thing: truth will always test your relationships. The moment you start being real about what you feel, what you want, and what you deserve, you'll notice something. Now, not everyone will celebrate your honesty. Some will pull away, some will challenge you, and some will misunderstand you. But truth isn't meant to make everyone comfortable. It's meant to make you free. Now, we live in a world where people wear masks, smiles that hide exhaustion, compliments that hide resentment, politeness that hides pain. We perform roles: the good employee, the loyal friend, the understanding partner, often at the cost of our own truth. Now, we agree to things that drain us just to avoid conflict. We stay quiet to keep the peace, when deep down, that silence is breaking us. But truth, and I mean real truth, demands courage. It's not about confrontation, it's about clarity. It's looking someone in the eye and saying, "This is where I stand, this is what I feel, this is what I need." Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's also liberating. Because once you start speaking truth, you stop living in confusion. Now, in my personal relationships, I've learned that truth is not cruelty. It's actually care. Saying no, setting boundaries, admitting when something isn't working. That's real love. Not only for the other person, but for yourself. Now, you can't build something real on half-truth and silent resentment. You can't nurture connection in the dark. Truth brings everything into the light. And once you see clearly, you can decide whether to heal it or to let it go. Now, in professional relationships, the same principle applies. You can't grow if you're pretending to be someone you're not. I've learned that authenticity is a form of leadership. It doesn't mean being perfect, it means being real. Now, admitting when you don't know, when you need help, when something isn't aligned with your values. Because integrity isn't about image. It's about consistency between what you say, what you do, and who you are when no one's watching. There were times I stayed silent in work situation because I didn't want to seem difficult or ungrateful. Times I said yes when every fiber in my being was screaming no. But each time I compromised my truth, I lost a little bit of myself. And it always caught up with me in burnout, frustration, or quiet resentment. Now, here's what I've learned. Truth doesn't destroy relationships. It reveals them. If honesty ends a connection, it wasn't built to last. If truth scares someone away, they were never comfortable with reality. And if truth deepens your relationship, then you found something rare, something real. So ask yourself, in my relationship, am I being truthful? Not just with others, but with myself. Am I honest about what I feel, about what I need, about what I'm willing to give and what I can no longer tolerate? Because truth isn't only spoken, it's lived. Every boundary you set, every standard you uphold, every silence you break, that's you choosing truth. That's you saying, I value myself enough not to live in half light anymore. And yes, truth may cost you some relationships. It may create distance where there was once closeness, but it also creates something more powerful: authenticity. Now, the kind of relationship that don't need pretending, the kind of partnership, friendship, and connection where you can breathe, speak freely, and know what you're accepted for who you really are. So, as you move towards your week, I challenge you to reflect. Where in your life have you been holding back your truth? Who are you protecting? Them or yourself from discomfort? And what might happen if, just once, you spoke your truth with love, without fear, without apology? Because truth doesn't need just free relationship, it frees you. When you live honestly, you stop chasing approval and start attracting alignment. You stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand you. And finally, you start surrounding yourself with those who see you, hear you, and honor the real you. That's the power of truth. It filters out the noise so you can finally live in peace. And then this is Truth and Freedom Podcast. And remember, the moment you start being honest, everything in your life begins to align.